witness but does not become Krishna conscious, such a principles are counted as only moral codes. One should not therefore limit his progress only to the point of moral codes, but should transcend them to attain Krishna consciousness.
Okay. So here Krishna is telling that telling what happens if one does not follow the cycle of sacrifices. Okay, in the previous two shlokas, 14 and 15, Krishna talked about the cycle of sacrifice. And now he is telling what happens if someone does not follow this cycle. Okay. So what happens if someone does not follow a cycle of sacrifices? They lead a life full of sin. Mogham partha sajivati. Aghayur indriya ramo mogham partha sajivati. Agha means sin. Indriya ramo means sense gratification. Okay. If somebody is doing sense gratification, not following any scriptural injunctions, they are only leading a life full of sin, and their life is a waste. Mogham partha sajivati. Okay, they are leading a life which is waste. Okay. See, scriptures, they are not condemning, they are not prohibiting sense gratification, but they are giving karma kanda, karma yoga procedures so that we can follow and achieve some sense gratification. There are 4 purusharthas, chaturvida purusharthas. What are those? Purusharthas. Dharmartha, kama, moksha. Okay. Dharma is righteousness. Ardha is wealth. Kama is fulfilling desires. Moksha is liberation. Okay. So Ardha, Kama and Moksha, they have to be done in the proper way by following Dharma. Okay. So Dharma governs the other 3 things. Ardha, Kama, Moksha. Ardha is wealth, right? If somebody wants to earn money, yes, it is okay. It is okay to earn money, but it has to be earned by performing some hard work in a proper way. The type of work that is done in these days and the amount of money or how people are earning money in today's society, it's not proper. So we are all aware of 4 regulative principles, right? No meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit affairs. So no meat eating, it does not require any explanation, easy to understand. No intoxication also, easy to understand. Okay, no illicit affairs.
No intoxication, there is a lot of gray area.
It's a lot of gray area. Yeah. Why?
We all know the intoxication is, most of the people know that no alcohol drinking, like wine, anything. But like in our institution, there's strict law that we should not even drink tea, coffee, or eat chocolate.
Yeah.
Has cocoa in it.
Yeah.
So we should not even eat that.
Yeah.
That's, here is a gray area. A lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, in general, we know what happens when we don't follow that principle of no intoxication. So what happens when we don't follow the principle of no intoxication?
One more thing, instead of even consuming also, even we should not serve also, even we should not serve. It's like because if some guest came, because in our relatives we are not having right now. Even serving also is like in that compromise.
I mean,
because we have to clarify, because we are following these things now. Just to make.
So if we Karunya, see, look at this. Karunya immediately left. Karunya immediately left. What? I came here on the very first day, and I cannot even have tea and coffee. Okay, no, this is not my class. She immediately left.
Chocolate is also not allowed, is it, Prabhuji? I didn't know that one actually. Tea, coffee, I've heard, but chocolate, is it not like allowed?
Some amount of caffeine. Uh,
Ingredients
so
have to see through.
yeah,
Thank you, Sweta Mataji, for bringing this question. Yeah.
yeah,
कोकोआ में they said that मेरे को भी नहीं
yeah,
पता था नहीं it's addictive जो addictive होता है वो सभी कोकोआ में they have caffeine
Prabhuji, ingredients we can see now, Prabhuji. It's based on the
white
ingredients
chocolate
and
is
we should
allowed
not consume it.
caramel
yeah.
is allowed
Okay, so let's not dilute the topic.
Yeah.
Let's stick to alcohol. Okay,
Okay.
let's stick to alcohol. So it's very easy to understand why alcohol is is prohibited, and illicit affairs also is easy to understand why it is prohibited. But the gambling, why gambling is prohibited? What's the problem with that?
It is also addiction.
Addiction, right, Prabhu?
Okay,
And make the mind diverted from the God and be a bit much. Our mind will be thinking how to
make more and
more money, and it is endless and make.
So gambling also is Prabhuji, earning money through wrong means.
yeah,
Last Prabhuji.
It's not a right dharma, following dharma and earning money, right? It is earning artha through wrong means, measures.
yeah. So, with respect to the shlokas 14 and 15, tell why gambling is bad.
Based on dharma, it's nice.
So we can say many things about gambling, why it is
There is no
bad.
effort in
But with respect to 14 and 15
there is
shlokas,
no effort in earning money. You just have to put your best. There is no yagya, there is no dharma, there is nothing there. It's just like you're just.
yeah. So what is the problem?
So then
It's a sin.
it's a sinful activity.
Earning for himself.
So what is like? So because ultimately we need to get rain, and there is a process, right?
We're
Without
looking
rain, we cannot
Yeah,
produce food and
yeah.
all, right? So that
See,
is
he got the right answer. He got the right answer. So I'll give the entire bottle to you. So the entire bottle is for you. So
If he gets, I'll get.
50%.
If you get, then I'll get. We are sisters.
Okay. So it breaks the cycle. If somebody earns money very easily, okay, by not performing hard work, not in proper way, not following dharma, if they make a lot of money very easily, like gambling is an example, then it breaks that entire cycle that Krishna described in shloka number 14 and 15.
But Prabhu, that way inheritance should be the same thing. When someone inherits a lot of properties or lot
Yeah.
of money,
Hmm.
then that's a easy money for them. They didn't do anything for it. They just inherited.
There's no sin there.
But if we apply the same principle, you
Yeah.
said that because it's a easy money, there's no dharma performed.
Mhm.
So that's the same thing there. Like
So, at least there is no sin like how it is how it is there in gambling. And also, let's say somebody inherits lots of money, okay, some millions, like 10 million, 20 million, like that. If they are not using that money in the service of the Lord, at least some amount, okay, if not all the 100% to begin with, if they are using all of that money for their own enjoyment, then it's a sin again.
the same principle can apply in gambling. I earn money from gambling.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say 100K, and I donate it to the temple.
Yeah.
Let's say 25K. Then my money become pure.
No.
Then yeah, I want to understand what's the difference there in both.
See, in case of gambling, you're earning the money in the improper way, in a dharmic way.
How?
scriptures will not tell you.
No. Yeah. How? Like what's why?
Somebody is losing.
Because gambling, what happens when you do gambling?
Your mind, you're just
You will develop cheating propensity.
okay.
Because in gambling,
Yeah.
in order to win, you need to have some cheating mentality.
No,
Speculation,
Prabhu.
cheating mentality.
How, Prabhu? Lottery and all, how there is the cheating? If someone purchased the lottery ticket, he won. It's kind of a gamble only, right? You put your money hoping that your money will.
I think the only thing I can think of is in gambling, you're basically
having an intention to earn money in a shortcut or in not an appropriate way. Inheritance is something which you are not controlling, right? It is coming because of the way, like you're not. Say for example, you were born in a family and then you inherit certain property. There is no action you have put in.
Okay.
It
Yeah,
is,
so
it
it's
is,
not your action that
it
you
is
are
not your
getting,
action.
but that is your action.
That you are choosing
See,
to earn.
and why that is coming to you now? Inheritance. Why you are getting money through inheritance now? Because you have already done some sukruti in the previous life, so you are destined to get that money. Okay? So there is no sin. Whereas in gambling, speculation, speculation.
Yes.
No, I
Right.
invest this much money, my money will become double. My money will become 100 times more than what I invested. Stocks or gambling, going to casino or any form of gambling. Okay, so speculation, and slowly you will develop cheating propensity.
Because I
One,
It's the
one
other way
more,
around as
one
we are
more
only.
thing. Yeah,
Huh?
Prabhuji, I can think of one more thing. Inheritance is one time, so we get from someone only once. We cannot do much. But stocks or other things, we keep okay. If I invest again, I'll get more. If we keep restless.
Yeah,
It develops a bad habit.
yeah.
No, in Pandavas,
You'll spend a lot of time, right? Every day it will consume a lot of your time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in Pandavas, Yudhishthira is symbolized dharma, right? That's all. But why did he play the game?
So when a kshatriya is challenged,
Oh, you should accept.
they should accept it. Yeah.
And
So
that's the reason he got some lessons also, right? During the entire thing, like I think during the end when they were traveling to Swargalok, I think they got some lessons, right? Each person has done something wrong, and because of that,
They fall down before or something.
something like that.
Yeah.
yeah, the not Swargalok. I think they go to Narakalok,
Naraklok, yeah.
but then they are spared uh, uh, because of these mistakes that they have performed. They go to Narakalok, but they don't stay in Narakalok.
Yeah.
They return back. So gambling, it breaks this cycle. Okay, one of the key principles of this cycle is yajna. How is yajna produced? By performing prescribed duties, karma. Yajna is born of karma. Okay, so any activity or any amount of money that is earned by performing hard work is the only proper way. The so-called software work in today's society is not the proper means of working. As per
And you read Tesla car.
Prabhuji, stock market is also gambling, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
stock market is gambling.
Because the companies are also limited. They are like the companies are also performing for the development of those
People, right?
But if that is not exist, that is like
So stock market, again, there are two things, right? One is short-term investment, long-term investments.
yeah.
Long-term investment is where you invest some money,
Yeah.
and then for 1 or 2 years or 3 years, 10 years, like that, you just leave the money like that. That is okay. That is allowed. But short-term investments, like you are investing, and then every day you are checking, every hour you are checking, what is the value of my stock?
Save for that.
If you are spending actively, that is not allowed.
Okay.
Okay. Otherwise, these mutual funds, they're all allowed. Yeah. Yeah. So like day trading is not allowed. Short-term day trading is not allowed.
The person whose business is day trading, whose business is trading, then
Business trading.
yeah, who's stock brokers and like in how
Yeah, they're obviously doing day trading.
the stock brokers.
Yeah.
So they are getting their business. The main income is
Through gambling.
Okay.
It's like butchers, right? Who are like
Oh,
butchers.
yeah,
So that's
yeah.
their job,
Okay.
but they're incurring
Yeah.
karmas.
Yeah, it's they're doing gambling every day, day in and day out. They are doing gambling.
Okay.
Yeah. You have somebody in your relative?
Yes.
Huh? Yeah, I could guess that. Okay.
Somebody.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, if somebody does gambling, it breaks this cycle of sacrifices. And if yajna is, if karma is not done the right way, it does not produce yajna. If there is no yajna, there is no rain. There is no rain, there is no grain. There is no grain, there is no life. Okay, so cycle is broken. So
And we have to fit in that cycle, otherwise the life will be wasted, right?
yeah, that is what Krishna is telling in this sloka 16. Aghayor indriya ramo mogam partha sajivati. Okay. Now, when somebody performs prescribed duties, when somebody follows, karmakanda rituals and karma yoga, it not only gives you material benefits in a proper way, but it also purifies us. It also purifies us. Okay. Anything else from this purport?
This is very important sloka in our life.
Huh?
This is very important sloka in our life.
Every sloka is an important sloka. Every sloka is an important sloka. If you understand Krishna's tattva, why Krishna is telling this, with what feeling Krishna is telling this sloka, so you'll appreciate every sloka. Okay, at least these 700 slokas of Bhagavad Gita. If not 700, the 574 slokas spoken by Krishna, we should spend maximum amount of time, learn the shloka, understand the meaning, understand Krishna's emotions. Just like how we, discussed Sahayajna praja srishtva purovacha prajapatihi anena prasavishvadyam esha voshvishta kamaduk. So just like how a parent gives all the necessary supplies to the daughter when he is giving daughter in the marriage to the son-in-law, and when he is sending the daughter to in-laws home, how he gives a supply, of groceries and appliances and so on. So Krishna has created this world along with all the necessary supplies, and he's saying, "Be thou happy, be thou happy." Okay, so you should understand Krishna's feelings there. Yeah. Okay, next shloka. So Karunya, is that okay? Are you following?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, good. When you come in person, next time when you come in person, it will be much more better. But yeah, so until then, you can follow this online thing.
That's good. Thank you.
Okay.
One thing, Varma, serving is also a thing that like we are not having tea right now. Coffee also.
Oh yeah, now going back to that.
Because that has to clarify actually.
Yeah. See, when my dad comes from India, we serve tea to him. Yeah, we serve.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Prabhupada, I remember you were serving Mataji saying they should stop.
Yeah, because no, like I'm just giving our example. When we buy the house, this house, then the owner has kept the wine bottle as a gift for us. So now what happens? Like now where to keep that? We cannot
to
give
someone
it
else or not?
because we have to eradicate.
Just throw it away.
Throw it away.
Yeah.
Yeah, give to other neighbor also.
No, but that
That's
is
what
we
we are
cannot
saying.
see. That's what.
Yeah.
Because we
Yeah.
thought
Even
of
if you give,
that's will be
see
a
now, that wine bottle is one example.
Yeah.
Serving tea to the parents or near ones, relatives, that's another one.
Yeah.
We cannot compare. We cannot say that these two are equal.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So when parent comes home and I mean, if dad is 80 years old. Now if you give the philosophy of no meat eating, no intoxication, he'll say bye. I'll never come to you.
I think there are some basic minimal standards that we should prohibit it at all, and then there are some leniencies
Yeah.
for more practical purpose in living in the society.
Yeah.
We take it with hard heart.
Yeah. See, illicit affair, right? There's a big I and a small I. All these are illicit activities. No meat eating, like meat eating is an illicit activity. Intoxication is an illicit activity. But there is a big I and a small I. Big I is alcohol. Small I is tea and coffee. Okay? At least we don't consume that. But when you have to serve to your near ones, it's okay.
We went to Mayapur with my in-laws and Vrindavan with my in-laws. My mother-in-law was about to faint because we stay in Mayapur, Prabhupada village. Of course, there was no tea, coffee serving there.
Yeah.
So she was like, I can't move anymore. I need tea. So
Yeah.
we have to go out, make her drink tea and then come back.
Yeah.
So what to do? She will, and in Vrindavan too, we stayed in ISKCON guest house.
Your mother-in-law, you said.
Mother-in-law. In Vrindavan, we stayed in ISKCON guest house only. So
Yeah.
there was no tea serving there. But then they used to go out, drink tea, came back.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they will come in. They are
Yeah,
so
yeah.
addicted to it.
See, now if you look at the Sri Vaishnava devotees, right? They don't have these 4 regulative principles. They all drink tea and coffee. And we cannot say that they are not devotees. They are very nice devotees. They are very nice devotees.
Which Vishnu, right?
Sri Vaishnava devotees, do you know Chinnajiyar Swami?
Yeah.
Chinmaya Mission. Prabhu.
Not Chinmaya Mission.
Chinmay.
Yeah.
Chinmay is another.
Hanuman,
Yeah.
right? They also built a hosted Hanuman. Okay.
Chinnajiyar Swami. He is so Chinnajiyar Swami is a disciple of Big Jiyar Swami. So the prominent Acharya is Ramanujacharya. Just like for our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, it's Madhvacharya. Similarly, for the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, there is Ramanujacharya, who is the prominent Acharya. Okay, so in that lineage is the current Acharya, Chinnajiyar Swami. He's in Hyderabad. He's in Hyderabad, but there are some disciples in North India also for him. Yeah. Okay.
So he drinks tea?
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't. The why the example?
In the Sampradaya, like the followers, they
There's no restriction.
there is no
Then
restriction.
there's no
Yeah, there's no restriction. They consume tea. And we cannot say that they are not good devotees, right? They are nice devotees.
They are perfect. Actually.
Nice devotees. Yeah. So, in fact, talking about Sri Vaishnava, right? There is one Sri Vaishnava devotee here in Seattle. He lives in Redmond. His name is Gauri Kumar. So what he does is very inspiring thing. He volunteers at Evergreen Hospital, providing spiritual care to the patients. Now we have seen spiritual care room, prayer room in all the hospitals, right? But we never knew what do they do in that room. I always used to think, oh, that room is given, it's kept for Muslim people because they strictly do namaz 3 times a day, right? So maybe for that purpose they have kept that. But he was recently sharing with me that he volunteers, he goes there every Saturday, and the doctor would give a list of all the patients on that day who have declared themselves as Hindus. In the patient admission form, you can actually specify your religion. So if somebody has specified religion as Hindu, he gives that list to this person Gauri, and he goes and he can go and meet those patients in those rooms. Now patients of all kinds. Some patients fighting with the terminal diseases like cancer and those things. And some patients who are undergoing some surgery, all kinds of patients. So he goes there and he introduces himself, and then he says that he's here to provide some, some spiritual awareness to them. Okay, and he recites Vishnu Sahasranama. Yeah.
So how does American patient does they allow?
No, they don't specify Hindu.
No, Hindus.
Oh, Hindu.
Yeah. And what the doctor told him is a very unfortunate thing. The doctor told him that we have the spiritual care department. There is a room in the hospital. Every hospital has a room. In all the hospitals, we only have people from Christianity and Islam. And occasionally we have people from other religions, but nobody from Hindu religion.
Come to the prayer room.
No, there is nobody providing this care.
Oh, okay.
See, patients, they always want, right?
Yeah.
They always want this care. When nothing is working, when the medicine is not working, they need some relief. They need some consolation. The doctors told there's nobody from Hindu society who is providing this spiritual care.
So it is
We
here.
badly need people.
It is here in US.
Yeah,
Did they allow anyone to come and do this
Yeah.
spiritual service?
yeah.
Wow.
So we can go and read Bhagavad Gita, we can go and chant Hare Krishna, we can do Kirtan. Huh? You know, if there is a North India devotee, we can sing a bhajan. Whatever gives them relief, you know, whatever helps them. And he was telling sometimes he has to recite Vishnu Sahasranama 3 times in a row. And it takes 30 minutes to recite Vishnu Sahasranama. So 3 patients, when they agree, he has to recite 3 times. So it's a great service that he's doing. Yeah. And he's saying there are no providers. There are no spiritual care providers in other hospitals. Even in Evergreen, until he went there, there was nobody.
I think this is also awareness. People don't even know that this kind of
Yeah.
opportunities are there, and they can.
Even patients do not know.
No, neither the patients nor if anybody from our congregation is
Community, they want
interested
to
or
do.
they have
Yeah.
bandwidth,
Yeah.
then they will not be aware of that. Okay, this
Yeah,
can be done.
yeah, that's also a point, because people think that oh, I want to do that. I want to do kirtan when somebody is fighting with a terminal disease.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Maybe people don't know that there is an opportunity like this.
That's why is it allowed? Because
Yeah.
most of the time we don't know.
Yeah.
It is allowed.
In India also, right? In India, see, in ISKCON related hospitals, or if there is a if there is a patient in ISKCON community itself, then there is an arrangement. Devotees go there, sing kirtans, all that help is available. But even in India, in the hospitals, there also we are seeing in the corporate hospitals, we are seeing spiritual room, prayer room. But I don't know, if somebody is doing something there. So there is a great scope, lot of scope for performing service here. So he shared with me about this last week only, and even I'm planning to join that. So if somebody is interested in joining, let me know. We have to go through some process in the hospital, and then once it is approved, then we can go every week. It doesn't have to be Saturday. It can be any day. Yeah, you can go any day. Yeah. So just a couple of hours in a week, but it's a great service. Yeah. Okay. Now 3.17. यस्त्वात्मा रतिरेव स्यादात्मतृप्तश्च मानवः आत्मन्येव च सन्तुष्टस्तस्य कार्यं न विद्यते. Okay, Kunal and Gauri, you both can share and read translation and purport.
Translation: But for one who takes pleasure in the self, whose human life is one of the self-realization, and who is satisfied in the self only, fully satiated, for him there is no duty.
Purport. A person who is fully Krishna conscious and is fully satisfied by his act in Krishna consciousness no longer has any duty to perform. Due to his being Krishna conscious, all empty within his instantly cleansed, an effect of many thousands of yagna performance. By such clearing of consciousness, one becomes fully confident of his eternal position in relationship with Supreme. His duty thus becomes self-illuminated by the grace of the Lord, and therefore he no longer has any obligation to the Vedic injunctions. such a Krishna conscious person is no longer interested in material activities and no longer takes pleasure in material arrangements like wine, women, and similar infatuations.
We just talked about wine, and wine is here. Okay. So here, Krishna is talking about a self-realized person. What is his obligation? Like in the previous shloka, a person who is too much attached to sense gratification, if they do not follow this cycle, they will lead life full of sin and their life is waste. Now here, a person who is self-realized, a person who is self-realized, who is self-satisfied, for him, there's no work to perform. There's no work to perform. There's no obligation to work. There's no duty to perform. Okay? And if you look at the shloka, right, there is this word Atma that appears 3 times. First line, second line, and third line. Yastvatma ratireva syat atma truptascha manavaha atman eva cha santushtaha. So what is the meaning of the word Atma? So if you look at the synonyms here, it says self, okay, yeah, Atmani, self, Atmarati, pleasure in self, Atmatrupta, self-illuminated. So Atma means self, but Atma can also mean soul, self, but another meaning of the word Atma is mind, okay. One who has controlled his mind, who is peaceful, who does not look for enjoyment in the external objects, who is self-satisfied, for him there's no duty to perform. Okay, so that's why the usage of the word Atma 3 times. What does it mean when somebody is self-satisfied? That means his mind is calm. His mind is not looking at external objects for enjoyment. He finds happiness within himself. He finds satisfaction, happiness within himself. He does not derive happiness from external objects. Okay, so Atma is mind. So for such a person, there is no obligation to work, but there is something. What is that? We'll see in the next shloka.
So we always need to serve God, right? Whether this world or in Golok or everywhere, right?
Yeah.
But Prabhupada is saying, once you realize it, there is no work for you.
Yeah.
So it is contradictory.
That's a very nice thing, right? you just chant only for a few years and then once you are self-realized,
No work.
no work. Give the bead back to someone else.
So what is the connection there?
Yeah. So now here Krishna is talking about Karma Yoga, right? So in Karma Yoga, with respect to Karma Yoga, if somebody is self-realized, they are not obligated to engage in worldly duties. Not obligated to work means, it doesn't mean not obligated to chant. Not obligated to indulge in worldly duties. They don't have to go to Microsoft and work.
No, I can preach the people and bring light. I can do.
Yeah, preaching is also service, right? It's like chanting.
Okay.
Preaching is kirtanam. Chanting is also kirtanam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But not worldly activities.
Yeah.
We need to do.
Yeah.
So, Guruji, any example? Have you seen one who's self-satisfied, like so? Any example? Can you give us?
Krishna will give 2 examples here.
Oh.
Okay. But we have a live example of Harivilas Maharaj in the temple.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, he used to have Ayurvedic business, Uncle Harry's business. Now he's completely away from it. His family, his daughters maintain it. So he's not involved in managing that. He doesn't go to that factory. So he's completely focused in seva. Yeah.
It doesn't feel like they will absorb the consciousness so much that it doesn't feel that they are doing their duties.
Yeah. Even Prabhupada,
Yes,
he had
exactly,
pharmacy, Prayag pharmacy. He had pharmacy in Allahabad, and Prabhupada went through so many obstacles in maintaining that pharmacy. So first he started that, and then he failed. Then he restarted it again. He failed. Like that, he failed 3 times. Then he understood. Okay, Krishna is sending me some message here. Then he stopped all the business and completely dedicated his life to Krishna Seva. So yeah, we have many examples. Okay, so we'll see what are the 2 examples that Krishna gives here. 3.18. नैव तस्य कृतेनार्थो न कृतेनेह कश्चन न चास्य सर्वभूतेषु कश्चिदर्था व्यपाश्रयः. Okay. Karanya, are you still there? Okay, she's not there. Venugopal, you want to read the translation and purport?
Yeah, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want me to share or you have it?
Please share it, Prabhu.
Yeah. Yes.
Translation. A self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill in the discharge of his prescribed duties, nor has he any reason not to perform such work, nor has he any need to depend on any other living being. Purport. A self-realized man is no longer obliged to perform any prescribed duty, save and accept activities in Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is not inactivity either, as will be explained in the following verses. A Krishna consciousness man does not take shelter of any person, man, or demigod. Whatever he does in Krishna consciousness is sufficient in the discharge of his obligation.
So just like how an ordinary person, he is dependent on the sacrifices, he is dependent on yajna and dependent on demigods to get everything. He is dependent on yajna means when you perform yajna, demigods are pleased. When demigods are pleased, we get rains. When there are rains, we get grains. When there are grains, we'll have life. So unlike an ordinary person who is dependent on yajna and demigods, a self-realized person is not dependent on demigods because he is only dependent on Krishna. He is only dependent on Krishna. So even if he does not perform any yajna, okay, still he will have life. He'll get all the necessity supplies. Krishna will make all the arrangement. So in Chaitanya Leela, in Gaur Leela, Srinivas Pandit, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to, visit his home, Srinivas Pandit, he would not indulge in worldly affairs and then earn his livelihood and buy groceries and maintain the family. So one day when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visits Srinivas Pandit's home, he asks, I see that you are not you're not engaged in any activities, you're not doing any work. How do you get your supplies? Srinivas Pandit says, whenever I need something, I clap 3 times. And if Krishna desires, I'll get supplies. Otherwise, that day I will remain hungry. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, are you joking? And then he actually did that. He clapped 3 times and then somehow the supplies came. So like that, a self-realized person, and we have many examples, like the Goswamis from Vrindavan, so many examples. Even now, there are many sadhus in Vrindavan and many other holy places where they don't actually do any work, but they are surviving. People who are completely dependent on Krishna, they're surviving even without doing any work. So Prabhupada is writing, a Krishna conscious person does not take shelter of any person, man or demigod. Whatever he does in Krishna consciousness is sufficient in the discharge of his obligation. That means his service in Krishna consciousness, this paradharma is nothing but his aparadharma also. There is no separate duty for him. Whatever he is doing, that is both paradharma and aparadharma, both. His Krishna Seva is both paradharma and aparadharma. Okay?
So, Krishna is saying you perform your duty, right, for Arjuna?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't give up the duty. Now, if I understand this sloka, right, I don't have to do anything. I be Krishna consciousness all the time.
Yeah.
Then I get everything, right? So everybody can follow this one, right? Like.
So this is now here Krishna is talking about highly exalted devotees.
Yeah, but everybody can
highly
follow
elevated.
That one, right?
Huh?
Like everybody can follow that, right?
Yes.
They can live up the duty and then they follow this.
No, it is not like that. You leave the duty only when you become highly exalted devotee. It's not like you leave the duty and then you will become exalted devotee. After you become an exalted devotee, then you leave it.
How do we know, Prabhuji? How do we know? Like,
how do we know?
Yeah, if somebody is exalted or they are not.
Ask Umesh.
Not 3 times.
Oh yeah, that's another test.
If nothing comes, you are still not there.
Yeah.
That is good one.
When Umesh asks you to cook something, you just clap 3 times.
And if nothing comes, then you know that you have to do it.
Yeah.
Nothing is coming, Prabhuji, so we have not answered.
Is it live?
Yeah. So this is how a pure devotee will think. A pure devotee, exalted devotee. Srinivas asked, right? How do we know? How do we know if we are pure devotees or if someone else is a pure devotee? So a pure devotee or an exalted devotee will say what is there on this painting here. Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnana Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. Okay? More humble than the blade of grass. That person is not looking for any appreciation, name and fame for himself. He is very humble. And he never says that he is pure devotee. He never says that he is a devotee, first of all. He never says that I know everything. He always says I know nothing. Okay? The symptom of humility is when we say that I don't know anything. Okay? Now we also say I don't know anything many times. It doesn't mean because we actually don't know anything.
So how to distinguish between a person who is saying I don't know or he is a pure?
I think clap is the only option.
Claps are the only option. See, Mahi is silent. Mahi is silent. She's a pure devotee.
So imagine you go to Harivilas Maharaj and say, Maharaj, clap.
Can you clap, Maharaj?
There is a test.
Maharaj will go
He will slap.
3 times.
If you ask him to clap, he will slap. Yeah. See, even if you look at Harilas Maharaj's example also, right? If you look at his life since last 2 years, he underwent a couple of surgeries and so many health problems. But now look at him. Krishna has given the best care that is possible. Okay, the family members, they are in different locations. Somebody is in Vrindavan, somebody is somewhere. They're all performing seva. Okay, so they cannot come here and take care of Maharaj. So Krishna has sent someone else to take care of Maharaj now and providing the best care. Earlier he was living in a small room in the temple, small bed, small room, not so nice facilities. But now he has got the best care. So like that, Krishna, even though you are not literally clapping, but Krishna, you don't have to ask.
And even after all this, he's so active.
Yeah.
Taking class 2 times a day.
Yeah. Doing kirtan with so much of energy.
Parade, he was teaching to dance, how to dance.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So Krishna provides. Yogakshemam vahamyaham. Krishna tells in 9 chapters, I provide my devotees what they lack and I protect what they have. I protect their devotional, I protect whatever bhakti they have and I provide that they are not lacking, whatever they are lacking. If it is some material thing that they are lacking, I provide. And if they need some help to progress further on the devotional path, I provide that. Okay, Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. Okay. Next one. 19. तस्मादसक्त सततं कार्यं कर्म समाचर असक्तो ह्याचरन् कर्म परमाप्नोति पुरुषः. Okay, so Shamakunda, you want to read?
Translation. Therefore, without being attached to the fruits of the activities, one should act as a matter of duty. For by working without attachment, one attains the Supreme. Purpose. The Supreme is the personality of Godhead for the devotee and liberation for the impersonalist. A person therefore acting for Krishna or in Krishna consciousness under proper guidance and without attachment to the result of the work is certainly making progress toward the supreme goal of life. Arjuna is told that he should fight in the battle of Kurukshetra for the interest of Krishna because Krishna wanted him to fight. To be a good man or a non-violent man is a personal attachment, but to act on behalf of a supreme is to act without attachment of the result. That is perfect act of the highest degree, recommended by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Vedic rituals like prescribed sacrifices are performed for the purification of impious activities that were performed in the field of sense gratification. But action in Krishna consciousness is transcendental to the reaction of good and evil work. A Krishna conscious person has no attachment for the results, but acts on behalf of Krishna alone. He engages in all kinds of activities, but in completely non-attached.
Yeah. So, the previous 2 shlokas, Krishna talked about exalted devotees, pure devotees, who are self-realized, who are not obligated to work, right? See, even for their livelihood, for their food and shelter also, they don't work. Okay? And there's no obligation to work. Why? Why is that so? So the question is, for ordinary people, it is mandatory to work. Whereas for self-realized people, there's no work. Why? There is happy. First of all, they are self-satisfied. That is one. But what is the underlying principle? Look at the algorithm. The algorithm, see, now what we are discussing is the algorithm for self-sustenance. The cycle that Krishna described, that's the algorithm for self-sustenance. So look at that algorithm and tell what's the underlying principle. Why a self-realized person need not work.
So, is it like because the Krishna is already pleased with that person? He doesn't need to. He will provide everything, as we said in Hari Vilas Maharaj case. Like he will provide the best care, best food, best arrangement for the self-realized. He doesn't need to work.
Yeah.
Why do we work? Why do we work? We work to sustain ourselves, to our family.
Yeah.
But if we are self-realized, we are happy with what we have.
Yeah.
We are engaged in Krishna service. And Krishna will take care. Why? We don't need to work.
Yeah, you are coming close.
I feel like the food and water, he doesn't feel like it's a materialistic thing. Everything he feel like in Krishna only. The food, all the Krishna itself is a food, water, everything. It doesn't require any other materialistic thing for him. Only the Krishna itself is everything for him. So he doesn't want to do any kind of duty. The service itself is a food, water for him. Maybe.
Okay, that's another good point. The service itself is food, water, and shelter for him. Okay.
Yeah, if I'm not satisfied, right, I look around. I develop attachment, likes, dislikes, and all those things.
Yeah.
Whereas the realized person, he fully satisfied. There is no need to do anything for him, right? So
Yeah.
that's the difference.
We have to perform. Yeah, right. We have to perform sacrifice only because we are doing all wrong things. We are killing few like jivas without knowing. But if we are fully Krishna consciousness, like Krishna will take care of those. We are not doing anything for ourselves.
So somebody has to speak logic, algorithm, logic, principle. Why this person doesn't have to work and why we need to work.
I think
What is the logic here? Whatever you all said is correct. But what's the logic here? Underlying logic or underlying principle?
He has to purify his mind.
That we are so impure.
Okay.
We have so many sinful activities. If we won't work, we will do something else, which will be sinful activity.
Okay.
Because we are not purified enough.
Mm-hmm.
That if we stop everything today and we will be fully engaged in Krishna service 100%.
Yeah.
We are not there.
Okay, so for example, I'll give you an example. Okay, yajna, right? Yajna. So now we discussed different types of yajna in the last class. Now consider that yajna like fire sacrifice yajna only. Okay, for ordinary people like all of us, we need to perform yajna. To get rains, we need to perform yajna. Whereas for a self-realized person like Srinivas Pandit, it is not required. It is not required to lit up fire and then do yajna. Why?
Because he was constantly engaged in service of the Krishna. He doesn't need to. He was constantly engaged in service.
Yeah.
And Krishna was taking care of him. And he doesn't even need anything.
Mm-hmm.
He never had a desire of anything. He only have a desire to the service.
Yeah.
He's like a tree.
So that's the point. He doesn't need anything. Okay. See, we need to do these sacrifices or yajnas only when you take something from the nature.
Yeah.
When you take something from the nature for yourself, then you have to give that back. But if you are not taking anything from the nature, then you don't need to give. You're not obligated to give anything back. So if you take 10 grains from nature for your own life, for your own sustenance, for your own survival, then you need to give that back by performing yajna. Whereas Srinivas Pandit, he said, for him it doesn't matter whether the 10 grains are coming or not. If Krishna is providing those 10 grains, it is fine. Otherwise also fine. He doesn't want anything. So that's why there's nothing for him to give back. Yeah, because he's not taking anything, there's nothing to give. Okay? Yeah. So the cycle is not disturbed. Okay? Okay, now this one, 19th. What is Krishna telling here? Therefore, without being attached to the fruits of activities, one should act as a matter of duty, for by working without attachment, one attains supreme. Okay? Now, Krishna is talking here about purification. Okay? For ordinary people, why there is an obligation to work, as Sudhakar said, we need to get purified. Okay? If you work, you will get purified. You start with Karma Kanda, then Karma Yoga, Nishkam Karma Yoga, and so on. So before practicing, Jnana Yoga, somebody needs to have a purity of the heart. That's the difference between Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. Jnana Yoga, the prerequisite for Jnana Yoga or even for Ashtanga Yoga also, the prerequisite is purity of the heart. Only then you are qualified to practice Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga. Whereas for Bhakti Yoga, that is not a prerequisite. After you start practicing Bhakti Yoga, yes, you need to get purity of the heart, but it is not a prerequisite. Even if your heart is not pure, you can start practicing Bhakti Yoga.
Bhakti, once we are above Karma Yoga and everything, our heart will anyways will be pure once we are above it. Once we pass that.
No, as soon as you start practicing Bhakti Yoga, your heart will not become pure, right? Gradually it will become pure.
In the last class you said we are right now at Karma Yoga.
Yeah.
Not at Bhakti stage.
Yeah.
So
see, we are practicing Bhakti Yoga. Okay? We are practicing Bhakti Yoga, but our consciousness is still at the level of Karma Yoga, Sakama Karma Yoga. Yeah. Because we still have a desire to have something for myself. So that's why at a conscious level, we are still at Sakama Karma Yoga level. But what we are practicing is Bhakti Yoga. Yeah. See, when somebody is dirty, they played in the dirt and then the body is full of dirt. There can be two options. Either they can take shower with a tumbler, one tumbler full of water, or they are given a luxury shower. They can come inside the house and take a shower for 30 minutes. Okay. So obviously taking shower inside the house for 30 minutes or 10 minutes, 20 minutes and getting cleansed of everything very nicely and easily, that is recommended. So Bhakti Yoga is like that. At a conscious level, we are still like that person who played in the dirt and we are full of dirt. But since we are practicing Bhakti Yoga, which is the best yoga of all, so it is easy for us to get cleansed of all the impurities. Okay. So now the prerequisite for Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga is you need to have a purity of heart. For Bhakti Yoga, it's not required. So can somebody give an example of a person who started practicing Bhakti Yoga even though he was not a pure person? We are all there, but from the history, from the Puranas.
Valmiki Prabhuji.
Valmiki, okay. No, not Dhruva Maharaj.
He has a desire, so.
Yeah, he has a desire, but we cannot say he is impure. Yeah.
Now the second was that also he is also the one. I am not remembering the first.
Satyavata Muni?
The Bilva Mangal Thakur, right?
The one who he is also passed the river with the, even though the dead person.
Oh, the sons of Kuvera. Nalagriva and Manigriva and Nalakuvera.
No, Prabhu, the one who himself became blind.
Oh, Bilomangal Thakur. Bilomangal Thakur. Oh, he's not the author of Damodara. Chaurashtakam, Govinda Damodara Stotra. Yeah. Bilamangal Thakur. Yeah. Okay. Is one example. Yes. Anyone else?
Kartik Maharaj is in 7 days he has.
No, he was not an impure person. He was a devotee. He was a devotee of the Lord.
But he has 7 days and then he
Yeah,
became the Bhagavad.
because he was a devotee. Because he was a devotee, that's why he wanted to utilize the last 7 days in the best way, in hearing about Krishna. Brigari from Ramayana. Brigari was a hunter. He was hunting the animals. He was killing them and leaving them half dead, and he used to get pleasure out of it, half dead. So, and then one day Narada Muni looks at that and asks him, this is so grave. You are taking pleasure in half dead animals. This is so grave. Why do you do that? He says, for my own pleasure, for my own enjoyment. I derive great pleasure in doing that. And Narada Muni teaches him Bhakti. And then he practices Bhakti. And then he experiences greater enjoyment, greater pleasure than what he was doing before.
There was a story, right, where this person who earlier was doing bhakti then fall. He married to a prostitute and then he started doing all the stealing. He started stealing to maintain the family. He had his own family. He threw them away. And at last, he remembered the name. Ajamil.
Yeah.
He also later after the...
Yeah, when he was given second chance in the next life. Yeah. So the key point here is to practice bhakti. Purity of the heart is not a prerequisite. Once you start practicing, then the process will cleanse you of all the impurities.
There is one person who even cannot say Rama also.
That is Valmiki. Yeah. He says Mara. Okay, that's what he used to do. He used to do every day. He used to, mar people.
Purity of mind is equivalent to purity of heart?
Huh?
Purity of mind is equivalent to purity of heart?
Purity of mind equivalent to purity of heart. So purity means you should be pure manasa, vacha, karmana. Huh? Manasa, mind. You should be pure in mind. Your speech, you should be pure. Karmana, in your action. Yeah. Okay. Mind and heart. Okay. So that if so if one practices this Nishkama Karma Yoga without being attached to the fruits of activities, they will get purity of the heart. Okay?
2.47 is also similar to this.
Yeah. 47 is a superset. 2.47 is a superset of all these verses. Karmanyeva adhikaraste. That's a superset of all these verses. Krishna is telling here again, he is testing us. Did we forget what he said in second chapter?
Second chapter is so dear to you.
2.47. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We can discuss few more shlokas. Next one, 2.20, 3.20. Now here Krishna gives an example. of a person who is self-realized, he does not have any obligation to work. What did he do? Whether he worked or did not work, we'll see that. Karmanaiva hi samsiddhim astita janakadayah lokasangrahamevapi sampashyam kartumarhasi. Okay. Jyoti, you want to read translation purport?
Translation. Kings such as Janaka attained perfection solely by performance of prescribed duties. Therefore, just for the sake of educating the people in general, you should perform your work. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Kings like Janaka were all self-realized souls. Consequently, they had no obligation to perform the prescribed duties in the Vedas. Nonetheless, they performed all prescribed activities just to set examples for the people in general. Janaka was the father of Sita and father-in-law of Lord Sri Rama. Being a great devotee of the Lord, he was transcendently situated, but because he was the king of Mithila, a subdivision of Bihar province in India, he had to teach his subjects how to perform prescribed duties. Lord Krishna and Arjuna, the Lord's eternal friend, had no need to fight in the battle of Kurukshetra, but they fought to teach people in general that violence is also necessary in situations where good arguments fail. Before the battle of Kurukshetra, every effort was made to avoid the war, even by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But the other party was determined to fight. So, for such a right cause, there is necessity for fighting. Although one who is situated in Krishna consciousness may not have any interest in the world, he still works to teach the public how to live and how to act. Experienced persons in Krishna consciousness can act in such a way that others will follow. And this is explained in the following verse.
Yeah. Okay. So here Krishna is giving an example of Janak Maharaj, who is a self-realized person, devotee of the Lord, but still, as a king, he performed worldly duties. Why? Because in the previous shlokas only we discussed, Krishna said, for a self-realized person, it is not necessary to work. Then what happens? There will be people like Sudhakar who will say that, oh, it is not necessary. I can also do that. So, in order to avoid this confusion and in order to avoid being a bad example for people in the society who may not understand, so the self-realized people, they work, even though they are not obligated to work, but still they work to set a correct example for others. So King Janaka, Krishna gives an example of King Janaka. In the next shloka, Krishna gives an example of himself. Here King Janaka, and in the next shloka, himself. So he gives example of him, and then he thinks, oh, maybe my eternal consort might feel bad. so he takes the name of the father of the eternal consort, the father-in-law, so that the wife will be happy. If he says in one shloka, he takes his name, and in another shloka, his wife's name, then people will easily guess. Oh, even the Supreme Lord also has this problem. But he wants to say that indirectly. He wants to make his wife happy. At the same time, he doesn't want to look like as if, people will think, oh, even Krishna also has this problem.
Making the wife happy.
That's the thing. That's the lesson.
That's the principle.
That's the lesson.
That only devotees can decode what is happening here.
Yes. The acharyas, the Gruhastha acharyas, the Gruhastha acharyas can decode this.
He could have given many examples. Why only Janaka Maharaj?
Yeah. Because I asked this question to many people, almost 10 years ago. We were doing a chapter a day, chard call. Every day in the afternoon, 12 o'clock, we used to dial in into conference, phone conference. And then we used to recite entire chapter and then 10 to 15 minutes some discussion. So when this shloka came, I still remember there was a great Lord Ram devotee in Seattle, Vijay Kumar, Telugu person only. So he speaks Ramakatha very nicely, wonderfully. So I asked him why Krishna gave example of only Janaka here. Why not somebody else? So, and I asked some few other people also. Nobody gave a better answer.
So he gave this answer.
Then I came up with this answer. Out of my realization in the last 15-20 years.
Yes.
Janaka is also one of the 12 Mahajans. Yeah.
I feel not Krishna will not give the category of Mahajan, then again that will come from it.
What is Mahajan?
Mahajan is jab
Great souls,
jo-
Mahatmas, great souls.
बाहर का जो विष्णु की स्तुति में 12 महाजन पड़े थे ना
Yeah. So who are the 12 Mahajans?
One of them is
Bhishma. That's an easy one.
Lord Shiva, Shambhu, right?
Prahlad,
Four Kumaras.
So start with first one. Swayambhu. Who is Swayambhu?
Shiva.
No.
Swayambhu Shambhu
Swayambhu is Brahma.
Shambhu Narada,
Swayambhu, Shambhu, Narada, Kumara, Kapila, Manu, Prahlada, Janaka, Bhishma, Bali, Vayasaki, Vayam. Bali, Vayasaki, Vayam. Bali Maharaj. Vayasaki is Sukadeva Goswami. And Vayam means Yamaraj. I am. Or all of us. He's not taking his name directly. By saying Vayam, saying all of us. Like this, all of us, all the 12 people, all of us, we are Mahajans. Okay. So Janak Maharaj, he was a self-realized person. But even though he was not obligated to work, he was performing work. Now what kinds of work he was doing? He's a Kshatriya. Okay? He was ruling the kingdom. Not just sitting in the palace and giving orders, executive orders to his ministry, but he was doing Vyavasaya also. He was doing farming also. Janak Maharaj. That's how he found Sita Devi, right?
Yeah.
That's how he found Sita Devi. Yeah. So he's setting an example for others. Okay. Now next one.
The shlokas are the beginning of rains, and because of that we are producing the gains from the season. So Janaka might be the Krishna would have linked with that.
Yeah.
What is that?
No, the grain, the 2.14 sorry 3.14 or 14 yajna. So that yajna is performed we are made up of grains now for the
Yeah.
So because Janaka has performed that farming work, so he would have connected, Krishna would have connected this with Janaka.
Yeah, possible. That's another purport. Grains. He was harvesting grains. Yeah, because Nanda Maharaj, I don't know whether he harvested grains or not. Yeah. That's a good one.
Directly, indirectly,
But the better purport is what I gave.
Son-in-law.
Father-in-law.
the wife.
Wife is happy. Yad
That's your default answer.
Yad acharati shrestha evetaro jana sayat pramanam kurute lokastadanuvartate. Okay. Somebody else. Sudhakar. Yeah.
Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow. And whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursuing purpose. People in general always require a leader who can teach the public by practical behavior. A leader cannot teach the public to stop smoking if he himself smokes. Lord Chaitanya said that a teacher should behave properly before he begins teaching. One who teaches in that way is called Acharya, or the ideal teacher. Therefore, a teacher must follow the principles of Shastra, scripture, to teach the common man. A teacher cannot manufacture rules against the principles of revealed scriptures. The revealed scriptures like Manus, Samhita, and similar others are considered the standard books to be followed by human society. Thus, the leader's teaching should be based on the principles of such standard shastras. One who desires to improve himself must follow the standard rules that are prescribed by the great teacher. The Srimad Bhagavatam also affirms that one should follow in the footsteps of great devotees, and that is the way of progress on the path of spiritual realization. The king or the executive head of a state, the father, and the school teacher are all considered to be natural leaders of the innocent people in general. All such natural leaders have a great responsibility to their dependents. Therefore, they must be consistent with the standard books of moral and scriptural codes.
Okay. So now here is a principle of setting an example, right? So Krishna talks about more details of setting example. In the previous two shlokas, in the previous shloka he gave an example of King Janak Maharaj. I think next shloka he gives an example of himself, but in between he's giving more details. Why people should set an example, especially leaders. Why they should set a good example. Yadyat acharati shreshtas tadak evetaro jana. Leaders have to set a good example because whatever leaders do, the common men will follow. Harilas Maharaj always says this: monkey see, monkey do. So most importantly, in a family, when parents are disciplining the children, the child learns everything simply by watching the parents, not by hearing, but simply by watching. The parents are doing something, the child will naturally be inclined to do that. If the parents are doing something and then they're telling the child not to do that, it doesn't work. So first the parents have to set an example. So Prabhupada calls parents as a natural leader. There are some leaders in the society who became leaders somehow, like politicians and the kings. They were appointed as leaders. So they also should set an example. And also there are some there are many natural leaders in the society, like parents, teachers in the school. They are all natural leaders who have great responsibility of setting an example for others. Okay, yadyat acharati shreshtas tatat evetaro jana. There's a famous saying: a leader is the one who knows the way, who shows the way, and who goes the way. Have you heard this? A leader is the one who knows the way, who knows how to do things, who shows the way, who tells others how to do things, and who goes the way. He does the things. It's not like leader is just telling others to do. Okay? He also knows how to do it. Not only knowing how to do it, but he also does the things. Okay? So three things. So the word acharya comes from acharana. Acharana means implementation. One who implements what he speaks is called acharya. Whatever he speaks, he should follow it. Then he is called acharya. Okay? That's why Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada is an Acharya. Ramanujacharya is an Acharya. Madhvacharya is an Acharya. These are all great exalted devotees who walk their talk. Who walked their talk. Whatever they spoke, there's no difference in their life. Okay? Whatever they spoke, that's what they were doing in their life also. Okay? See, a person can have 3 types of lives. One is public life. Second one is private life in the family. Third one is secret life. Public life is what you lead when you are in the temple, when you are at workplace, when you are in the society, when you are surrounded by hundreds of people. That is public life. So everybody will be nice. When you are in public, when you are in the temple, everybody is nice. When you are in a grocery stores, you behave nice. When you are in the public, in a bus or in a train, you're a nice person. That is very easy, right? It's very easy to be a nice person in the temple. It's very easy to be a nice person, in the public. Now, second life is private life. When you are at home. Okay? So what happens at home and what kind of life are you leading? That only your spouse knows. That only your spouse knows. That is private life. Now, secret life. You are alone all by yourself. There's nobody else. Only Paramatma is watching. But we think that there's nobody watching. Even Paramatma is not watching. And we do many things. That is secret life. So
our thoughts
in
come in the secret life. Our thoughts come in the secret life.
What does it mean by integrity?
Sometimes there is so much going on in our head.
Yeah.
Which we don't share with anyone. It's just going in our head.
Yeah.
Is that's part of a secret?
Yeah, that's part of secret life. Okay. Yeah. So now, even when you are in public, even when you are surrounded by thousands of people, as a person at your mental level, that's a secret life. Yeah. Because what you are thinking inside, even when you are surrounded by thousands of people, that's a private life. Okay. So in Acharya.
In Kali Yuga, he gave an exemption, right? Like, until you make an action, then you become sin, right? That he said already.
we don't forget things like this. We never forget things like this.
Because we are in Kali Yuga, right?
It gives relief.
Yeah, we should not take that concession as a license. Concessions are given only for occasional mistakes.
No, I think nobody is purified. If you are purified, then we are.
No, an Acharya is a person who walks the talk in public, in private, in secret, in all the time, in all the places. So, Sarva Kala Sarva Avastha. There is a phrase in Sanskrit. It's called Sarva Kala Sarva Avastha. Sarva Kala means at all times. Sarva Avastha means under all circumstances. This is gone. Under all circumstances.
Indicating that.
Indicating that the class has to be ended. Sarva Kala Sarva Avastha. So the Sri Vaishnava people will use this phrase quite often. So an Acharya is like that. Under all circumstances, under all in all times, he walks the talk. Whatever he speaks, he follows them. Okay. Any other points from this purport? You want to say something, Prabhu? You gave a nice presentation on parenting last year or sometime. Yeah.
Yeah. I think from that, I mean, if we try to link this with that, so instructing somebody with words was the last thing that you do in teaching.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct.
So you first set the model by acting the way you want others to your
Yeah.
followers to follow.
Yeah.
So you must act in that way.
Yeah.
And then you should create an environment so
Yeah.
that others can. So it's not that I mean you are performing because you have certain situation
Yeah.
and you expect others to follow, but they might not have that environment. So
Yeah.
if you have to coach somebody, you have to give that environment, that facility also,
Yeah.
so that they can follow. And
Yeah.
then instructing, the actual instructions, that is the last thing that you give.
Yeah.
And that is also not even needed sometimes.
Yeah.
But we start in the other way. We start it from instruction,
Yeah.
and then we think, oh, maybe this is not working. Now I should do the next thing.
Yeah.
Right. So it should be. So there were 4 things, I think. Model. It was called some framework. It's called.
Okay.
So and it has to be executed in that order also.
Oh.
It's not just that okay, you must do
It's
this.
not like
you must
random.
do this. Yeah, it's not that you first instruct and then do that.
Yeah.
Both has to be given. First you have to model, then you have to provide environment, then you have to care, and then you have to instruct.
Yeah. Speak actually. Yeah. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the instruction given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he says, if you want to preach, you preach by your behavior. If needed,
You can talk also.
you speak in between. If needed, you speak in between. Okay? If needed, you speak in between. In between means sometimes, if needed. If your behavior is not clearly expressing what you want to convey, then sometimes you can explain. But the best preaching is done by
Example.
behavior, example, model. Yeah.
I have notes here. Nourish, protect, equip, engage them.
Nourish, protect, engage.
Engage, equip something.
Equip is providing the facility. Basically.
Providing the facility. Yeah. Wow, very nice. You were able to pull that notes from last year. Good. Mahi's also, she's also always writing notes. One day I want to see what does she write.
No, she will publish the book.
She will write your realization in that book. Why Krishna used
Janak Maharaj. She's recording like Vasudev. She's recording everything.
She will give you the credit. Like I am inspired by my Siksha Guru.
He's a Grihastha Acharya. Yeah. Yeah, the best preaching is done by behavior, around behavior. Most importantly, when you have to preach to your family members, sometimes the wife is a devotee, husband is not devotee, or husband is a devotee, wife is not devotee. Both are devotees, but children are non-devotees. And entire families are devotees, but the parents are not devotees. Or sisters and brothers are not devotees. So, or you have a desire to preach at workplace, in your office. After hearing so much, the devotees in Krishna consciousness, they don't want to keep quiet. They want to share this valuable information with everybody. Okay. So in all these situations, especially preaching to family members is the most dangerous thing. You can preach to your neighbor. Even if the neighbor becomes envy, that's okay. You don't have to talk to them. You don't have to, face them anymore. But if you preach to your family members, that's the worst thing that you can do to the family members. If they take it in a positive way and become devotees, that's good. But, if they are not inclined to practice bhakti, and if they're upset by what you say, then you're actually causing damage. So you have to be very careful. And in those situations, the best preaching that we can do is by our example. If they see big difference in us, because they know, right? For example, our brother or sister, they have been noticing us since childhood. They know what kind of a person we are. Now, the way to preach to our brother or sister who are not practicing bhakti is by setting an example with our good behavior. Now, if they see a good behavior which they did not notice in the previous years, then they will inquire, oh, how did you become a good person like this? I want to become a good person like this. And then they'll inquire.
My siblings are upset with me.
They are upset that you are practicing bhakti.
No, they say, why you make your life so restrictive? You
Yeah.
can't eat there, you can't go there, you can't do this thing, you can't watch TV with us.
Yeah.
What are you getting from it?
Yeah.
There's other way around going. I don't think they see any difference. They'll just keep scolding, like, what are you doing? Why you have made this life so tough?
It's slow process.
And I just say that it's organic. It's not like I have to make effort to
Yeah.
do certain things. It's just coming organically to us. That
Yeah.
we don't miss doing those things
Yeah.
which we used to earlier. But they don't understand that.
Yeah.
They will give me lecture.
Yeah, we cannot give philosophy to them, saying that
But I will get philosophy from them.
we are not this body, we are the soul.
I will get philosophy from them.
Yeah, yeah.
They will start quoting some scripture also that this is what. So I had few discussions with my friend. Now I've stopped doing it. The reason being is I think then what happens it gets into a situation that you are trying to prove something that you are doing right and what they are doing is wrong. And whenever that mechanics comes, there is
Not helping others.
there is a different mechanics come into play, right? They will force their opinion as well.
Yeah,
So I've
and
stopped
you'll
doing
only apply this defending principle if you are feeling insecure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we should never get into that mode.
So what would be the right way, Prabhuji? Because this
Don't-
will happen. Be silent.
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 Say, okay,
Remember our
That's
first
very good.
instruction?
Yes, small.
When you cannot change the other person with words, you remain silent. Yeah.
And I think the other point
That's a
Prabhuji is making
grahastha
is
instruction.
good. For us to practice this, I think our relatives and friends should discover change in us. If they're not able to discover it, means that we have to also
We have to work harder.
But I felt is somehow inside they feel that what we are doing is right, but they don't want to adapt that lifestyle. Because whatever we are doing, they want it for their kids.
Yeah.
They want me to take their kids to the temple.
Yeah.
They want me to.
But they don't want to come.
They were there, but I have to force them to come. But in the temple, like, I was taking my nephew and nieces, and we were dancing together. They were very happy seeing that.
Yeah.
But after I was gone, they never visited that temple.
Yeah.
With me, they were doing it because they think my nephew will get good values. But you are the one who has to give them good values, right?
Yeah.
I won't stay with my nephew.
Yeah. Yeah. Most of the parents are like that. They want their children to learn all this, but not themselves.
But we can do something for them, right? Like if you leave them, then we are not bringing.
I
to the
think
God.
there is a it is obviously person specific, but you have to see who is open to listening.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the chances are somebody who is at the same level as you or little older, they probably will not.
Yeah.
For them, example setting is very important.
Yeah.
Whereas somebody who is little younger and who are, naturally, like I said, that, for whom you are natural leader,
Yeah.
there you can slowly instruct also.
Yeah. If you have some authority, you are
What kind
elder
of
to
authority you
another
have.
person, then you
Right?
can.
And
You can do something, right?
like in my this India visit, one of my cousins showed interest. I wanted to know. Then that's all we need, right?
Yeah. That one sentence is enough.
One sentence is enough.
18,000 Bhagavatam shlokas will come.
That's it. So then, we were sitting in a table during the wedding ceremony was going on, and I wasn't taking anything, onion, garlic. Then this discussion started. It started with that, and then one of my cousin is he's a manufacturer of Ayurvedic medicines.
Okay.
So he understands that tamasic, rajasic, sattvic and all. So I actually put it on you already know this kind of a thing,
Yeah.
Then he opened up more, okay. Because I felt that he's seeing that, he already knows, but not enough.
Yeah.
Then he started asking more questions. Then I was like, I took that approach that, okay, I can answer it briefly, but that might not satisfy you right now. So we'll do a course.
Then we should
Yeah. So Then another, my cousin's husband was also there, another like from their family. Said that, yeah, okay, let me create a group. Then I said, okay, we'll in the next few weeks when I am back there, we'll start a course, and then all your questions will get answered there. In a more systematic way.
Even Harivilas Maharaj approach also, if I teach the beggars in Seattle, right, they don't listen. Start with prasadam, right? So then they can convert slowly, right? That is approach.
You have to understand the mood of the audience and preach accordingly.
But what I felt from is, even if people doesn't agree with us, they have everyone
They-
want to understand. They have this
They
anger.
develop that respect, obviously. They know that this is a good life. They know in
know,
their heart.
yeah,
They know that it is a
in
good
their
life.
heart. Yeah.
In their heart they know.
Everybody understands that this is a good life, but the hesitation is that if I take up this path, I have to follow restrictions.
I might miss on something. I might miss on something.
This fear of missing out. So restrictions, is what people are afraid of. They're not afraid of God. They're not afraid of this path. They're afraid of restrictions.
Because they have some predefined notion which is wrong. So we have to clarify that.
But they don't understand that a person who follows these rules and regulations has the highest freedom, not the person who is leading life very freely in the society. Because if you lead a life very freely in the society, very soon you will commit a lot of sins, and then one day they might be caught, and they might be put into prison, or the nature will do something either in the form of disease or natural calamity. God will teach a lesson somehow. But a person who is following rules and regulations, Krishna says in chapter 16, Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Karya Vyavastitau. One has to perform their work by following Shastra Praman. Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te. Whatever we do, we have to take pramana from Shastra. The do's and don'ts, we have to learn from Shastra. So
Prabhu, I also want to tell something. I was telling them yesterday, because our set of friends, they stopped calling us because of so many reasons, right? After this. So my husband is sharing ride with one of the friends. So they go together to the office, come back. So Nitin starts like he will turn on the Keshava Swami lectures or Bhagavatam lecture. Now he's also so addicted. So one day Nitin came home, he said, first we were cribbing about the work, our manager, and then he said, forget, just turn on that lecture. What are we discussing? Let's listen to the lecture. So there is a hunger in everyone. They just don't know.
So based on the mood of the other person, you give whatever is needed. Some people, they like this intellectual things, right? If they get that intellectual satisfaction, they'll be interested in listening to this. Or somebody, they like prasadam, give prasadam to them. So depending on the audience, you adjust your preaching style. Okay. So nothing with that.
Kirtan, so small kirtan, because this is there little bit. No, just you bought now. I just Hare Krishna, at least we can say 3 times or 4 times.
Oh, we did.
Oh, with the mridanga you were saying? We did that in the beginning. He played with mridanga.
Okay, I am late.
He played with mridanga.
I agree. Hare Krishna.
But we are going to use mridanga during the prasadam thing. Okay. Thank you, Venugopal, Sri Vidya.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Grantara Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Prabhu ki jai.